All right, let's finish this review out. Now, on this particular problem, we see that we're rating the Statistics 1342 based on your college major. Well, again, we do not know how many students are represented in each one of these bars, which means that you absolutely cannot compare numbers in one major to the numbers in another major. Cannot compare those because we do not know their totals in each of those categories. But if you look at answer choice D, it says that they are comparing something in anthropology to something else in anthropology. They're comparing within this one section, this one major, they're comparing the number of students who rated that statistics class as good to the number or good to those who rated it neutral. And in that case, it is allowed because this is a bigger percent of the same total as this percent. Okay, so that's why D is correct. Now, this number 17 is very interesting, and what's going to happen here is it is easy to see the 5-number summary. I gave you 3 representations here, and hopefully you chose this representation to identify your 5-number summary. That's pretty easy in that case. But what happens if you only have a histogram here in the middle, this representation here, and not a box plot? So what I've done here, and I'll scoot this on over, is so what I've done is I have drawn out all of the numbers in this so that, let's see here, let me scoot this over here somewhere. Okay, so I have drawn out all of the numbers in this section so that you can see it's interesting. I don't know what's going on with this little picture. I guess you're just not going to be able to see that picture. Okay. So I've drawn out all the numbers that are in this. There are 5 number 4s, and there are 5 number 5s. Okay, so I've put those 5 number 5s. There are 15 number 6s. So that's what I have here, 15 number 6s. There are 20 number 7s. It's all of those there. And then there are 5 number 8s. Now, I am drawing this out, but I do not expect you to do that. I'm hoping that you're able to kind of understand what's happening between here and here so that you can make that concrete connection without listing out all of those numbers. So here's how we do that. You can see 5 plus 5 plus 15, 20, and 5. So you can see the total of all of these numbers is 50 pieces of data. So if you have 50 pieces of data, then you would split them in half and you would have 25 pieces of data on the bottom half and 25 pieces of data on the top half, which I can clearly see that means I need to average together the numbers 6 and 7. So my median is 6.5. Now, I've not seen this happen on AP, but we'll go ahead and address it. Let's look. Let's see. How do you do this if all you're looking at is the histogram? Well, there's 5 plus 5 more makes 10 pieces of data. Plus 15 more makes the 25 pieces of data. So the middle of the top one here and the first one down here. So the last number 6 and the first number 7 are the 25th and the 26th piece of data that need to be averaged, just as I'm demonstrating right up here. Okay, now let's talk quartiles. So you will get the left quartile. So I'm going to take that 25 pieces of data and split it in half, which makes 12 and a half. So 12 and a half means I'm going to put 12 on the lower part, 12 on the upper part, and that 13th one in the middle is the Q1. So let's find it. 5 pieces of data plus 5 pieces of data, that's 10, 11, 12, 13. There's the 13th piece of data. And that is obviously in this number 6 bar. Okay, let's do the other part. Same thing. I need to go 13 pieces of data into this. So you can either go 13 up from here or 13 down from the top. I usually go 13 down from the top. So Q1 was 13, the 13th piece of data up from the bottom. Q3 is the 13th piece of data down from the top. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so that's obviously in this bar, which has a value of 7. All right, so that's how you could tell that. And of course, the max is 8 and the min is 4. All right, so that's how you do that with that histogram, since you might not know those. Okay, here we have another question where you have all the different box plots, and you cannot just eyeball these numbers and see what's happening. I put them all in, I got the 5-number summary, and then I went and computed the fences. And of course, you know the upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 IQRs, and the lower fence is Q1 minus 1.5 IQRs. So that upper fence is 2297.5. That is located right here in my data set. So 2500 and 3700 are outliers. The lower fence is off the chart. So it's not even in my data set. There are no pieces of data below the lower fence, so no lower outliers. So then that's why, so as far as this, I know it's the ones that had the correct outliers were numbers 2 and 3, but yet the median for number 3 was wrong. So that is why 2, once again, is the answer. All right, 20. So this is interesting. Let's talk about this. So we have got percents here, and these percents total up to more than 100%. What that tells me is that some people do more than one of these activities. So some people are, some people run, walk, and bike also. So there's people counted in more than one category. That means they cannot be represented as a circle graph. Now, a segmented bar graph, same thing. I mean, you have to have another variable happening. Like if you said among the males and the females, among the males and the females, and then you could segment off the amounts. But once again, if you have these overlapping, then it's hard to do these relative frequencies. You really cannot do that. If you had one for the male and for the females, you can't do those different percentages. So both segmented and side by side do not work, but bar graph. So it'll just be a regular bar graph. All right, let's do these last ones. And all this is, once again, checking to see if you can get the 5-number summary, identify the fences, and see if there is data above the upper fence or below the lower fence. You have outliers. And yes, we have 35 is the only outlier on number 21. And same process here. I'll let you study those numbers. There is a lower outlier of 1 because the lower fence is at 3.5. And then the upper fence is at 31.5. So there are 2 upper outliers. 32 and 37 are above the upper fence. Okay, that is the in-depth going over your Unit 2A review. So good luck to you on your upcoming Unit 2A test.